Yesterday, we got some cool changes in Modern Warfare as a part of Update 1.15. We got cool things like Giant Infection, we got things like Snipers Only on Rust in a 3v3 setting, we got a new map of Bazaar for the 2v2 gunfight game mode, we got a new adjustment to the main menu where the seemingly classified tab, which is all but surely for Warzone, that had an update and showcased a new progression hinting at more things to come, and other things alike. But as we discussed now, with just about every single update for Modern Warfare, there's always more than meets the eye, or more than what is publicly stated, and yesterday's update was no exception. It's odd to me that in 2020 we just can't have all the changes conveyed and passed along to the community, but we definitely got some, especially bigger ones at that I want to break down here for you guys today. Today I want to discuss 14 changes that were made right under your noses that Infinity Ward didn't tell you about. As we go along, let me know your thoughts. Why do you think these changes weren't conveyed? What's your favorite of them, or anything you'd like to feel like sharing? I mean, if you'd want to share what you had for lunch, hell, go ahead and drop that down there. But as well, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare on a daily basis. We just hit 300,000 subscribers yesterday, which is still surreal to me. So thanks so much for the support day in and day out. But anyways, let's talk about the changes. Let's tackle the big ones here first and foremost. The one that I'm sure that you guys have seen mentioned already and is the biggest one I think here out of this, the fact that we got some adjustments, or rather some additions to the Uzi. The Uzi actually had 2 weapon attachments added to it under the radar with no real mention of it. We ended up seeing the introduction of the 25-round AE magazine, in which you can unlock this by using the 50-round magazine and getting 3 hipfire kills in 5 different matches. If you unlock that, you end up getting extra damage and range while having the new magazine equipped, but at the cost of a lower magazine capacity, aiming recoil control, and also a little bit in the fire rate. Now, the barrel that was added was the FSS Orion, in which you have to have the new magazine of the 25-round mag, the standard issue Woodstock, and any barrel attachment equipped on that, and then get 2 long shot kills in any 5 different matches. When you unlock this and you equip it, you end up getting damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control at the sacrifice of the aim down sight speed, and as well a little bit in the movement speed. So it seems like these were added in to maybe give the Uzi a little bit more of a fighting chance compared to other SMGs, make it a little bit more competitive, but it is other attachments that are added in for you to, if you've completed everything, maybe grind out and get a little more challenge done here at that. We saw this recently also with the pistols and the akimbo, but this was added in as of yesterday. Next up, on a change that I didn't see coming for sure, was the fact that they actually adjusted the flag locations on Rust in Domination. We saw this happen once before with Piccadilly in the Domination locations for flags there. The B flag was moved a little closer to the actual true midpoint, but with Rust and the adjustments made here, we actually saw the A and the B flags flipped around. Previously, A was right by connector, now that's where B is, and B was underneath pipes, and that's where A is. So that's some changes that if you noticed or you played Rust at all in Domination on that, you're not crazy. That was actually changed, but was never conveyed. Outside of that, we're going to jump over to the fact that we have a bunch of stuff in the way of mission challenges to talk about. Firstly, the fact that operator mission challenges no longer have to be activated. These now track whatever challenge you have with the selected operator that you have and works towards whatever is closest here with this. And as well, instead of them being showcased in the mission challenge section, it's now just seen simply in your operator menu. Additionally, compounding on top of that, there is now a new operator mission menu where you can preview the missions that you have for each selected operator, but you can end up opening up a menu by hitting square, X, or whatever you have bound on PC to open up a full menu to see all the missions you may have active with that. Now, to my knowledge, there still shouldn't be a whole lot, but this will then be something that's a little easier to find all your mission challenges for operators as the seasons progress, as the year goes along. For me, the most I end up having is 2 missions per operator, but this is now the full list of what you'd end up seeing for those missions, whereas they were previously in the mission challenge section. So you'll be able to see the objectives you have, how many you've gotten completed. You'll be able to see the stages at which you completed things and the loot that comes along with those said stages in a more in-depth and fuller capacity than just that preview that you may see when hovering over the operator. Now, talking about UI and things with mission challenges a little further, jumping over not necessarily to the operator mission challenges, but the good old weapon blueprint mission challenges. This has actually been changed now to which previously it was sorted by season. So you had season 0, season 1, and then season 2 mission challenges, all sectioned according to season with your weapon blueprints and your operator mission challenges, but no longer is that the case. It showcases what season you have up top, but instead it applies a little bit more of a filter here with this, where you have now the chronological order in which they were introduced, but also the incomplete ones are now at the very top. If you can't find the ones you actually completed, those will be at the very bottom of your mission challenge selection. So just a slight little change up to how things were sorted in that, those potentially helping the quality of life of the game and the user interface. But talking a little bit about the user interface a little further, we saw a couple of other changes, one also coming in the way of the user interface for the friends list. This is now introduced alphabetically and prioritizes Activision friends over your console friends, if I'm not mistaken. You can open up your full list by toggling the online, offline options with that, but it's something that showcases in a little bit more of an organized manner, and also in a way that showcases a few more names now, if I'm not mistaken, than it did previously at first glance. So that was adjusted and was not mentioned. Additionally, the regiment's user interface was something that is now changed. It's now columnar, though it doesn't seem to be alphabetical like the friends list user interface, but this is now something that showcases, again, a little bit more in terms of who's in your regiment at just one quick glance, though you can still scroll down. It just offers up another column here with this and the display at which it's shown. Now, also with the user interface for regiments, there's now a different way to switch the active regiment that you're in. Previously, you had to press your right thumbstick to open up the option to switch between whatever regiment you want to be in if you're in multiple. Now you just tap your left trigger and it will open up that side panel menu to switch between whatever one you want to go in. After that, kind of coming down to our last thing to discuss here in terms of menu changes, is they finally fixed the new calling card icon that was bugged, that if you're like me, you hate seeing those green dots that showcase something's new, so you try and clear everything out. But with update 1.14 that introduced season 2, you'd be hard pressed to get rid of it because you couldn't. Except for yesterday, they finally did fix that out, so now you can clear that out. You can end up completely getting rid of all those green dots on the upper tabs, though it still is something that showcases in the quick play and also the newest tiles for the limited time modes. After that comes the discussion now that Spotter can now hack equipment through walls. It previously could not. It was something that took over, of course, EOD's ability to hack items, so you can now hack through walls in a close range. It's not something that's going to allow you to hack it through 20 feet of concrete, but you can hack it through smaller surfaces, so you can do that now. The Solo Zero NVG optic can now once again see through smoke. It could not as of the last update, so that's been fixed out and been adjusted accordingly. There's a new perk icon for the fully loaded weapon perk. That's something that was a change that I guess we didn't necessarily need, but one that was made. The new bundles in the shop with the Mace Operator bundle now offer dismemberment on the weapons that come along with that one. That's something that we saw with season 2. The option was added in there. We could turn on or off the dismemberment features, but we didn't really have all that many weapons to my knowledge that went along with this. These specifically do, so you'll be able to blow off limbs, you'll be able to blow off heads. And the final thing that I've heard about is that there are apparently new callouts whenever you're playing in game, a lot being in ground war and pertaining to vehicles, so keep a listen out for those ones. Another more minor thing actually while going back and editing this video that I noticed is that when you're in your gunsmith, you end up now having those same unlock icons that were added in on the camos as of season 2's update, but they go away once you hover over them, but if you exit back out, they'll reappear. So it's just something that showcases on the UI that lets you know at quick glance how many more things you're missing out of a specific gunsmith category. And one final thing that I do want to mention, and is one that we don't have any mention of and is still, to me at least, a little bit up in the air, is that next to your social icons in your top right of your game menu, you'll see social, you'll see your party limit, and then also you'll see a new rank icon between that and however many console friends you have. Now, to me, I haven't seen anywhere that this has been explained. I don't know exactly what it's for. My initial thought was maybe it's your regiment rank. They added one on the back end, but that doesn't seem to be the case because myself and my friend Lazy are both a part of the same regiment, and his is 19, mine is 8. So I don't know if that may be something where that's the amount of ranks you've had during your happy hour with regiments, but that's something that was added in, and it's a small little detail that, again, I just like some clarity on for my own personal sake, for understanding all of it. And again, post-editing note, this actually went down for me by 1 while simply just editing this. So new icon, I just still don't exactly know what it's for. But overall, those are 14 changes here that were made as of yesterday's update right under your noses that were never acknowledged. But also on top of this, while there are some cool changes here, some good quality of life things, some good things that add some new content with the Uzi and maybe adjusting how Rust is played, there also were a few negative byproducts of this update that I've seen. The first one I want to talk about is that of the 39mm rounds for the AK47. It was stated that this got a buff, but thanks to my good friend Ace, who you can check out his link down there in the description below, he did an entire breakdown of all the changes statistically, as he so wonderfully does every single time. From actual testing, the stated AK47 changes they're all placebo. There was absolutely no change made to this. So that's something that, again, shouldn't be the case. We should have seen a buff in that, but we did not, and that was something that was mentioned, but actually didn't happen. On PC, shaders are not installing properly. This is something which, personally, I don't know, by the way, why I have to reinstall shaders every single time I boot up the game, but this has become a widespread issue for players as of the update yesterday. I noticed it immediately, but thought maybe it was just a bug since I don't jump on a PC all that much other than to get some menu footage on update days and also some thumbnail images rendered at 4K with a higher texture quality. But right now it seems to have introduced the bug where on PC, shaders are either just perpetually installing or they actually come up with an error that says that it cannot install properly. So that's been introduced as of the update, and also as of today, kind of a byproduct of being introduced yesterday was that of Giant Infection was actually removed from the playlist tentatively. I expect this to be back within the next day or two, perhaps, but they removed it because there was such an absolute massive XP yield, which the way that I look at it, I don't understand why that's a big problem. If you play the game regularly, we're gonna hit 155 one way or another, but I understand where I guess it's a problem from a business perspective if it progresses the battle pass, though truth be told, I didn't really notice all that much difference in terms of the battle pass progression playing Giant Infection versus literally any other game mode. Still, the best way that I think is by simply playing the trials because you get so much XP in such a small amount of time. Giant Infection, you still had to play 10 to 13 minutes depending on how long that game lasted, so it wasn't as condensed, but that's been removed as well. So good and bad coming here out of this update, it seems like, but that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you think of these unnamed changes here within Modern Warfare? What do you guys think is the best one, the worst one, whatever it may be? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike my conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.